Bentonville is making an impact on the world through next-level technology.
You know, how I was inspired when I was 6 years old seeing Top Gun. I can't wait to see these little kids showing up to the airport and seeing these incredible machines and think about what future they're going to create and lighting that little spark.
So whether you have a need for speed or want an inside look at the innovation happening in your backyard, Downtown Now is taking off and talking tech next. Northwest Arkansas is no stranger to leading the way in mobility with companies like J.B. Hunt and Walmart. We've been steadily at the forefront of transportation and logistics for years, but now our state has made a strong play to become the worldwide epicenter for advanced mobility.
It's a glimpse of the future we envisioned as kids. You can see it in the skies above our city as drones from Zipline and DroneUp launch partnerships with Walmart. You can see it in national headlines as electric vehicle manufacturer Canoo declared its intentions to establish a headquarters right here in Bentonville. And you can see the future of mobility on Bentonville roads through short-haul deliveries from self-driving vehicles. The box trucks, part of autonomous trucking company Gadek's multi-year partnership with Walmart.
As end consumers, we want our deliveries in the next 1 hour, next 2 hours, or at the very latest, the same day. And because of that expectation, everyone is moving their supply chain close to the end consumers. And when you do that, the trip lengths become shorter. You have to do higher frequency deliveries. So you need more drivers, more trips, and more trucks. That's where we come in.
Gadek CEO Gautam Narang says his company appreciates enthusiastic support from state and city leaders.
We continue to see that support, with everything that we do, and that's one of the reasons why we are eager and excited to expand our operations here in Arkansas, expand our presence, and very excited about the next few months and the next few years.
Crucial next years within our state as Arkansas positions itself as a worldwide advanced mobility leader, with an ongoing focus on computer science education in classrooms. And the Arkansas Council on Future Mobility, established by Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, that group will be tasked with recommending ways to remove barriers and offer incentives that will support the development of advanced mobility.
Northwest Arkansas, with Gadek being here and autonomous vehicle piloting, and you've got drone delivery, the door's wide open. We're being recognized nationally as being the leader in innovation in the supply chain and logistics. We got to stay on that cutting edge.
Did you know customers in Pea Ridge have access to one of the most cutting-edge delivery systems in the country, if not the world? Zipline launched in 2016 to deliver essential health items. Think blood, vaccines, and medicine to underserved communities in parts of Africa. Today, Zipline has operations in North Carolina and Utah as part of a partnership with healthcare facilities, and in Pea Ridge as part of a pilot program with Walmart.
Just minutes away from downtown Bentonville, in a town steeped in history, you'll see a glimpse of the future. Maybe you've noticed the Zipline platform dubbed the Nest, built in the summer of 2021 as part of a partnership with Walmart. Over the last several months, Zipline has been launching and landing orders straight to the homes of nearby Pea Ridge residents.
We have probably about 500 or so flights, not just customer orders, but a lot of training and practicing for our own good.
What you'll see and hear on any given day from the Nest is a process-driven launch utilizing cutting-edge technology. It looks and sounds like this.
Control ops, zipline 964, correction, 962 is ready for motor spin and launch. Airspace is clear, launch area is clear, headwind.
Copy, controllers ready, airspace is clear, wind good, clear to spin motors launch, zipline 962.
Clear to spin motors and launch, zipline 962. Spinning motors! Launching zipline 962 in 3, 2, 1!
The process ends with a delivery that looks like this, as zipline drones seamlessly move select products through the skies and into the hands of customers. But what happens before the delivery, before the launch, is a fusion of precision and cutting-edge technology that reminds us that the future really is right here, in our backyard. We asked Zipline remote pilot in command and flight operator Annie to show us how it works from online order to touchdown.
So we have an app that Zipline has built, and it works through Walmart. So they'll actually place the order on Zipline. It's going to come through our systems here, and we'll start packaging it up. We try to make material that is easy to throw away or recycle. Okay, and then we've got a device, a phone, that's going to go ahead and get this QR code that we've created, and this is how we assign it to the actual zip that we're going to fly. All right, so once we have it scanned, then this is how we associate it with this specific aircraft. And we'll get it assigned in there, and once it's assigned, go ahead and insert it in. So we just get the parachute up in there, just in a clip. And there's bungee cords in here that are going to assist us when it opens up for delivery. It'll push it out. So just push these in, and then it's ready to go. All right, so we place body on here, and it is modular, so we've got a few pieces that we'll put together. Our maintenance tech is then going to grab our wing, and then we'll grab a battery. And the battery is not only the battery, but the brains of the system as well. It'll store the route that it's going on. And the nice thing about the modular way that we do things is that if something is broken or if there's an issue with any of our components, then at that point we can swap out just that one component and continue on with the process. So now our maintenance tech is going to start doing the pre-flight inspection and the scanning of it. So we've got these codes on here that he's going to go ahead and scan, and it runs through all of its pre-flight actions, and it's going to let us know that everything is good to go with the aircraft. As a flight operator, it's my job to do a pre-flight inspection, just kind of like you would do on a regular aircraft. So that is our part. The system is still thinking about all the pre-flight right now. So once it is done, it'll let us know that the system is ready for flight. So we're just waiting on that process. Maintenance is now doing paperwork as well to ensure that all of our pieces are recorded as far as which ones we're using together and certified. So.
From here, Annie and the Zipline team conduct an array of technical and visual safety checks. It's an impressive operation, both efficient and thorough. It all leads to the drone launch into the skies of Pea Ridge, delivery, and return to the nest.
It's pretty cool.
So we know what you're asking. When does this delivery service come right here to downtown Bentonville? Well, Annie says Zipline is working with Walmart and the FAA to chart a path forward. Up next, we're talking flying cars, drones, and more with aviation entrepreneur Cyrus Zagari. We'll also talk about the Jetsons, Top Gun, Back to the Future, and how the media inspires us to think big and think forward. That's next.
Technology continues to fast forward at an incredible rate. Join us for this year's NWA Tech Summit to stay ahead of the curve and learn what the future holds for technology here in Northwest Arkansas.
Whether you are a student, entrepreneur, tech practitioner, or business executive, the NWA Tech Summit is the place for you. Take advantage of this opportunity to network with others and see what's in store as technology accelerates in every industry.
Hear from cutting-edge tech leaders, experience engaging workshops, and participate in the Heartland's premier technology conference. Fast forward with us at this year's NWA Tech Summit.
Cyrus Sagari is co-founder and managing partner of Up Partners. That's a company that invests in technology companies working to move people and goods cleaner, faster, and safer on the ground, in the air, in the sea, or in space. In May, Cyrus spoke at the Heartland Summit in a panel discussion titled Jetpacks, Drones, and Flying Cars. Pretty interesting stuff. I spoke to Cyrus about those things and also the movie that sparked his passion for aviation at a very young age. We also talked about how the next generation of little aviators and innovators, your kids, how they can get an inside look at jetpacks, drones, and flying cars at the Up Summit Community Day in Bentonville. Take a look. I want to start back at the beginning. You watched Top Gun and were inspired, and that really set a trajectory for a lot of your work. Tell us about what that moment meant and how that inspired you as a child.
Yeah, I think so many moments of inspiration for people happen when they're younger through media. And in my particular case, Top Gun was a legitimate one. And I was the youngest of 3 boys, and I had 2 older brothers that were in high school when I was, I think, 6 years old when Top Gun came out. And I saw how excited my brothers were about it. And I just wanted to be like my brothers too, and be, interested in the things they were interested in. And it turned out that I just fell in love. I felt like the oldest picture of me. I've got an airplane in my hand, and the first video game I had was Top Gun on Nintendo, and I wanted to be like Maverick one day. And I didn't quite land the Tom Cruise sort of thing, but it certainly got my gears going in terms of being inspired about aviation and wanting to explore. And it's kind of paved the path for the rest of my life.
And then you turned that passion into a profession. Explain a little bit about what you do, investing in companies, growing companies, and a lot of them focus on mobility and aviation.
Yeah, so my day job today is co-founder of a firm called Up Partners, which is an early stage venture capital firm that's investing in technologies that help move people and goods cleaner, faster, safer, lower cost, on the ground, in the air, on the sea, in space. And it's pretty much investing in this utopian future that for many of us started with the Jetsons, this idea of getting your flying car and flying around, to actual things that people are experiencing here in Arkansas, like drones delivering packages to their front door, to getting an autonomous car to take you from A to B, and doing all this stuff. Really has been interesting to learn how mobility, you can't really look at it from just things on the ground, things in the air, sea, space separately. They're all really part of one major story, which is how do we move matter more efficiently? And it's all a lot of the same key enablers. So my day job is investing in the most incredible entrepreneurs that are transforming the moving world by bringing together exponential technologies to provide higher quality of life to anyone that gets a benefit from these sorts of technologies. So that's what I'm doing now, but I spent 30 years or so in and around aviation, engineering, technology, to build a background to have a point of view of where the future might be going.
All right, so you did mention the Jetsons. A little aside that we were talking earlier, George Jetson was born in 2022. So we are now technically in the future.
That's right. Yeah, this is his birth year, is 2022. And it's also the 60th anniversary of the Jetsons. And I think it's pretty cool that we're actually living in a world where we get to start to see this vision, this future of the Jetsons start to become reality. I mean, there are over 400 companies right now developing some sort of flying car. As the official term is electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, eVTOL. But from the largest aerospace companies, Boeing, Airbus, to the largest automotive manufacturers, include Toyota, and Honda said they're doing stuff, and you name it. Every major builder of moving things has seen the Jetsons as an inspiration. And going back to the comment about Top Gun earlier, it was media. Media kind of is a great tool to inspire and have us think differently about what the future can be.
It'd be a good time to tell you that my dog is named Marty McFly.
Oh, I love it.
So we have to bring
Yep,
it
yep.
Back to the Future as well. Another flying car.
There's literally a
situation.
flying car
Yes.
in Back to the Future. That's right.
So we all find places where we found inspiration, and that's, media is such a great way to inspire us.
It really is.
We spoke a few days ago to Governor Hutchinson, and he was telling me that when he took office 7 years ago, he would go to Silicon Valley and try to recruit businesses, and a lot of doors were slammed and people weren't super interested. That's changed, and now we're seeing a lot of investments in Arkansas and a lot of businesses making that move to establish a presence here in Bentonville and in Arkansas. What moved the needle?
Yeah, I think a little perspective is helpful here, in that I believe we're on the precipice of the second internet. The first internet provided very low latency access to data. I want to know something, I know it very cheaply. Now, somewhere around 80% of the people on the planet today have access to, relatively high-speed internet, and you can't even begin to quantify the impact to society by virtue of having access to the first internet. We believe that we're on the precipice of the second internet, which is the internet of matter. I want to have something, I have it. I want to be somewhere, I am there. And with that framework, you look at Arkansas, and this is the capital of moving things between Walmart, J.B. Hunt, Tyson, Dassault Falcon Jet based down in Little Rock. I think many folks are shocked when they hear that the number one export out of the state of Arkansas is aerospace, and being reminded of the heritage and the industrial foundation that's already here. So that's the first thing. So we're seeing a major shift around all things related to mobility. And the first thing that you're seeing the biggest shift around is the movement of goods. And COVID was a huge accelerator, which required a tremendous amount of innovation and thoughtfulness around how do we move things like this when you're stuck in your house and you can't go out to get it. And then the second big driver is around sustainability and the environment. I mean, you can't operate today as a business leader without thinking about what the impact to the environment is going to be through the consumption of energy. And so when you put those two things together around sustainability and the shift towards the second internet, this future of teleporting yourself or things, there couldn't be a more natural place for this to really become the Silicon Valley of transportation and logistics than right here in Arkansas, and particularly Northwest Arkansas.
And the governor appointed you as the chairman of the Arkansas Council of Future Mobility. So you're working to reduce barriers in our state to make it even more appealing. Can you speak a little bit to that work? And he says that there's a report expected this fall.
We've got our homework assigned.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's ready.
Yeah, no. We do have to give a report by November. Mm-hmm. And in this report, really the whole initiative, and thanks to the leadership of Governor Hutchinson and seeing this future of this second internet coming and realizing that when it comes to mobility and moving things, this is a $10 trillion market, mobility broadly. It's the underlying fabric of society. If you can't move things efficiently, at low cost, without tearing up the environment, the world stops. And so to be thinking about that long term is really inspiring from a governor's perspective and just broadly from a policy perspective. And this is a very complex problem. It has a lot of different stakeholders. You have the largest companies in the world are huge consumers of this. You have academia and workforce development. You have investment from early stage venture investing all the way to private equity and to public markets. You have policy. What are the rules and regulations that are inhibiting the proliferation of these sorts of technologies? And there's public awareness. How do you bring the public along with this future and not create an environment where they might be fighting it? And really at the core of it is a proof point, which is whenever you increase the access to mobility, history has shown quality of life goes up. So back to your question around Governor Hutchinson's council that he set up, we brought together the leaders from all these different elements, from academia, from large corporates, from the investing community, from the policy community, to work together to create a roadmap to help Arkansas really stand up as a shining beacon on the hill as to what a state can do to enable these sorts of technologies and companies to be successful. And I believe that it's going to be a model that's going to be replicated throughout the country.
I want to talk about, you mentioned the community and the community buy-in to these things. And these technology advancements, they're not just happening behind closed doors. We went out and visited Zipline in Pea Ridge. I will make a note that all of our video has me screaming in the background because it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And they had delivered a cake to someone using this drone technology. So we can see it being implemented in our communities, and we can see it improving lives in our communities. You can see, I just walked by a canoe vehicle just a second ago.
It's pretty cool looking.
It's awesome looking. Yeah. And the GATIC, we wanted to talk about GATIC as well. They're running routes right now, 7.1 miles, 2 trucks running around Bentonville. So we're seeing this being implemented. How do you get the community on board and excited about these things?
Yeah, community engagement is so important when you talk about transformational technologies, particularly in the physical world. And one really interesting thing about these types of technologies is that they really benefit everyone. This isn't something that's just for the elite. Mm-hmm. This is really to give people more time back. I mean, you think about the amount of time that's wasted having to drive to a store to pick up a lemon and to come home, where you should be spending that time at home with your kids, with your loved ones, learning, consuming, creating, not being wasted, simply this high transaction cost from a time perspective, but even more importantly from an energy perspective. Think about if you needed to go drive from where you live now to a Walmart to go pick up a lemon or whatever it might be, small payload, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's assume you got a car that's average weight of 2,000 pounds. The amount of energy it takes to move that 2,000 pound vehicle to go to the store, for you to walk out, go pick up what you need to get back in that 2,000 pound vehicle and get home, mm-hmm. compared to a vehicle that weighs 20, 30 pounds, maybe it's about 50 pounds, a zipline drone, it is so much more efficient for the environment. And so that's a community thing. I think we're all buying into, like, we want to protect this beautiful land. It takes cars off the road. Mm-hmm. It's inspiring. Who doesn't want to see a little parachute box of cake show up to the front yard or whatever? So all these things are elements that are good for the community. And you talk about GATIC, and at the core thesis around autonomy for driving is that it's safer than a human being. That's where we're headed to. And there's still a lot of learnings to be done, but if we can make the roads safer, if we can make the roads less congested by virtue of using these sorts of technologies, that's good for the community. And I think that's what's really unique about Arkansas is there's been so much that's already been happening, these little individual stories, that they haven't really been wrapped up into one major story. And I think that goes back to the work with the Mobility Council, is that we just got to tell the story of what's already happening, and then to inspire new stories to be created and work together sort of as a coalition of stakeholders to make this utopian reality here.
Now, you are behind the Up Summit, which is coming to Bentonville in June, and part of that will be a community day. And that's where I believe you get that next generation of buy-in. Our kids can come and see some of the things that are being worked on, flying cars or an autonomous vehicle. Can you tell people what to expect and encourage them to come out and show these things to their kids? Yeah,
we're so fired up to have the Up Summit coming back to Bentonville. Mm-hmm. And in the future years, it's going to rotate between Dallas-Fort Worth and Bentonville. And on June 5th, we're going to have our community day, where we'll have somewhere in the order of about 30 different vehicles, between flying cars and drones and autonomous cars and hydrogen trucks, and we've got the future moon lander that'll be driving around town with people in astronaut outfits. I mean, we're talking about the future showing up to Bentonville, here to Bentonville. But beyond just that, we have 225 of the world's leaders in the future mobility descending on Bentonville. And this is a great time for folks in this town to be proud of what they built, to be able to show it off to the folks that are supposedly the most breakthrough, innovative investors and technologists. Something tells me they're going to be pretty inspired when they see this community and how thoughtful it's been and how warm and opening and embracing the community's been to aviation and all the sort of cool stuff that's happening. But the thing I'm most excited about the Up Summit is the community day. And it's getting, how I was inspired when I was 6 years old seeing Top Gun. I can't wait to see these little kids showing up to the airport and seeing these incredible machines and think about what future they're going to create and lighting that little spark and that one future Elon Musk that shows up, or Einstein, or whoever it might be. He or she's out there, and I really hope it's a she that is coming up with these incredible ideas that can help humanity continue to go up, both physically and sort of economically, socially, and on all the other areas.
What's next? What's the next 30 years look like? What do you foresee with all of these technologies being developed?
You know, we're in this really interesting time that makes me really hopeful. There's a lot of news out there about reasons not to be very hopeful,
Sure.
right? And I don't need to be the one that repeats any of them. But I think we're at a time of incredible abundance. There's an abundance of capital. There's an abundance of what we call exponential technologies that are kind of coming together. There's an abundance of human will to do big and inspiring things. There's an abundance, I believe, in this new generation coming of hope. And I think when you put all these things together, really incredible things can happen. And you know, we've gone through some difficult times over the last few years, and I think that makes people pretty grateful when you get on the backside of it. And I believe that we're working through challenges, and I'm sure we'll have some more in the future. But to have this playing field of abundance in all these different categories, and there's one I left out, is access to education. Right? I mean, now, you know, a child sitting in a village in Africa can have access to a Stanford education or, you know, MIT education by what's available online. And accessibility of education through a digital world is super, super exciting. And so I believe that as we continue to see more of these exponential technologies timed with abundance of capital and goodwill and a human experience that is elevating, good things will happen.
I'm going to end this interview with a quote from you.
Okay, cool.
This is the future we were all promised as kids.
That's
and
right.
I loved it. It's the Top Gun, it's the Back to the Future, it's the Jetsons, it's here in Bentonville. It's something to be pretty excited about.
Yeah, if this doesn't get you excited, I don't want to be your friend.
You can be my friend.
No, I mean that it's, you know, there's something about this convergence of things that sort of lights up the inner child. And I see it in children, and I see it in folks that are in the later stages in their lives. And that's special, and we have to pay attention when we feel those feelings and how we can lean in and be part of building that future.
Well, Cyrus, thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
me.
It's been great to be here.
Yes. That was only about half of our interview with Cyrus Sagari. To watch the full interview, head to downtownbentonville.org or head to our Facebook page, Downtown Bentonville. And if you want to get a firsthand look at some pretty cool futuristic technology, I'm talking electric aircraft, flying objects and people, jetpacks and more, make plans to visit the Up Summit Community Day at Thaden Field on Sunday, June 5th. The family-friendly event kicks off at noon, and it's free to everyone in the community. For more information on the event, you can check out our Facebook page, Downtown Bentonville. Well, that is it for us. We hope you enjoyed this tech-themed show, and thanks for watching at our new time, 5 p.m. on Saturdays on KNWA. We will see you soon in the future.